Hey guys, let's talk about last night's episode of The Blacklist. And of course, we had our case of the week, but I don't really think that that is what is important here. What is important is everything else that was going on, and that is Liz's father was in the hospital. And she didn't really realize that he's as sick as he is, but apparently he had cancer and now it's come back and it's attacked his liver. And he really only has like 6 weeks to live. And she was unaware of the fact that he was this gravely ill. And so she's working on this case, and of course, Reddington is all over it, and blah, blah, blah. And some guy wants to take down planes because he's mad about Wall Street, and Wall Street, collapsed the company that his father was once working for, and yada, yada, yada. Who cares? So, the part that's really important is the fact that Reddington seems to know all about what's happening with Liz's father. And of course, because Reddington seems to be the only person whose plane can get out of anywhere since all other planes are grounded because of this man who's taking down all these planes, it's like, how coincidental is that? So anyways, Reddington ends up at the hospital where Liz's father is. And they seem to know each other quite well. And they're talking and they're reminiscing and they're making jokes, and they clearly are talking about the same person who's a woman and how she couldn't really cook. And so we get the sense that they've known each other for a very long time. Then basically Liz's father, Sam, tells Reddington that, he only has 6 weeks to live, but he really wishes he only had 6 hours because he doesn't want to go through all this. And he tells him that, he thinks that Liz should know the truth before he goes. And of course, Reddington's like, that can't happen. No way. You can't tell her anything. So what happens next was not a shocker. Sam calls Liz, basically giving him his last conversation. I mean, unbeknownst to him, of course, that he loves her, and, that, and of course she's saying, as soon as I can get there, I'll come see you. And he's like, yes, I love you, blah, blah, blah. So he hangs up the phone. Reddington comes over and he sits down all close to his face, and he's like, you have been a wonderful father to her, and, taking her in when you did, I will make sure that I love and protect her just as much. And then he smothers him with the pillow. So this is the thing for me. Okay, when you're in the hospital and you're really in critical condition, because he basically is like, maybe he's not on death's bed at this point, but he's hooked up to an IV, he's hooked up to the monitors, which I would assume if you flatline, it causes an alarming noise to the nurse's station. And so when he's being killed, there's no such noise, there's no such flatlining happening in his room, and he basically dies and nobody's any of the wiser, and that's the end of that scene. So Reddington now goes out and makes a phone call to Liz and is all, how are you? Is there anything I can do for you? I have a plane. Do you need any help? And she's like, I can't talk now. Gotta go. Bye. And then he waltzes over and sits down, and who does he sit next to? Tom. And he starts asking him questions, and he tells him that he's there to see his father-in-law, but he was too late, and he's not sure how he's going to tell his wife. And then, of course, Reddington's like, oh, well, I'm sure she'll be fine. I'm sure he'll continue to watch over her, and he'll see through her eyes, and he'll be able to see everything that's going on with her and what's happening around her. And all of a sudden, his tone gets really threatening. And, of course, Tom's, like, looking at him like, who are you again? And, he's got this very stern look on his face. And of course, this is his way of saying, I'm watching you. I got my eye on you, kid. And he gets up and he walks away. So the big question here is this the reveal that we've been waiting to hear from since the beginning? And like I predicted, that if he is her father, I'm bored. I just don't really think that that is a big reveal. We've been assuming this from the beginning. If something else is the case, please let us know quickly, because this is quickly becoming a tiresome cat and mouse game. Like, does she care about him? Does she not care about him? At the very end scene, he's like, oh, the best way to remember your father is to talk about him. And then they sit down and they're on this swing set together. I'm like, oh, whatever. I don't know. It just doesn't really do anything for me. I am sorry. If you guys have a different opinion, please leave a comment down below. I'd like to try to wrap my mind around a different opinion of this show, but right now it's just not happening. So that is my review of The Blacklist. All right, guys. See you next week. Bye.